Yeah, we've got 5 views already. Right. The time is 56.
A new person catching the live stream for the first time.
Ah, who's that?
Excuse me if I get this wrong. Indicate?
Oh, right. No, he's yeah, no, he's not. I don't think he's new.
Hi guys, first time catching the live stream.
Oh, right. Well, I've seen you in another stream then, Spidic, I think. So my apologies there. I thought you had been in here before. But...
Hi Gary. Hi Damned Up Bobbington. Hi Mark Scalmont.
Hello.
Hello all.
Hello all, yes. Couple more minutes before the 8 o'clock bell tolls.
It's a change, you're ready on time.
Yeah, that's what's thrown me, the fact I'm ready on time. I'm yeah, very, very tired today, so it's it may be a short one. Yeah. Everyone enjoying the hot weather?
Don said, lol, good evening. It's only gone 12 noon. Where is that?
So he's behind us. So 12 noon. That's, oh, my head's not working. So it's 8 hours, isn't it? Yeah. 8 hours behind. Oh, crikey, I don't even know where that would be.
Somewhere in the world.
Right. Oh, that's near enough, I think. That's near enough. So, hello, welcome everyone once again. Wednesday's around again. And no Neil at the moment, but we shall carry on. I honestly don't know how long this week's going to be because we've had a really long day and we're both really tired. So we'll just play it by ear and go from there. So where to start? I'll start quickly, briefly with the things that I've been building, and I've come almost full circle to finishing the minds are blank, the Phantom. As you can see, very, very close to finishing, and it actually would have been finished had I not got a splodge of super glue on the canopy when I'd got it flipped over and I was working on the base. So it is a beautiful kit with lovely detail. You know, it's an old kit, but it's certainly been fun to build. Haven't had that much trouble with it. Yeah, there's been seams that needed filling and so on, but bits missing.
The bits you lost, that flew around the room and disappeared.
Oh yeah, there's bits lost, but not bits missing. And yeah, it's just been a spectacular kit, really. Far cry from the kits from the people telling me that I shouldn't build it. It's as you've got your landing gears have gone in, and then of course the landing gears are red under the not the landing gears, the brakes. Yeah, brakes. They're red on the underside. I've been so, you know, I'm just so pleased with this. I think I forget his name, Tim. I think it's Tim something. Sorry, I can't remember your name. But oh, that's a bit fallen off. He sent me a new arrestor hook because, as you know, if you've been following the build, the arrestor hook just vanished completely, just upped and left. There was no trace of it anywhere. And the piece that's just fallen off is this is why I don't like handling them while they're like this. It's just a little glass piece that slots in over there like that. Now I can either try and glue that in now, which would probably be the sensible solution. Yeah, we'll do that now, otherwise it's going to go missing. And after all, this is a modelling show, allegedly. So we're just going to put a bit of micro crystal clear, because it's brilliant stuff for clear parts. It dries clear so that you can't. So let's just position that. Position that again. We just want to make sure. So I've got sausage fingers. Just need to make sure. Yeah, that's where that's going to sit. Right. And then we'll give ourselves a little cocktail stick as an applicator. With a fair old amount on there. But you only really need a splodge in there and a splodge in there, and put the rest back. Pair of tweezers is handy at this point if you've got them. But you don't want any that are too abrasive or anything like that, because they'll just scratch the surface. So and again, you just want to position that. There you go. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit on the glass, because it's all going to dry clear anyway. And that's that done. Leave that to dry. and that's that done. And then when we get the new canopy in, we can come along and start dropping that straight on. Presumably it will need masking off and cutting and everything, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's the Phantom, more or less built. Of course, the nose has just got to have a hinged nose cone, which has got to be put on. And yeah, beautiful little kit. Yeah, almost there. Not far at all. So let me pop that back over there out the way.
Jo said the one thing she likes about Crystal Clear is very small light. It's much easier to put a dab of that in than fight with a timepiece of blue plastic.
Yeah, it's very good stuff. It's got no end of uses. So that's that. Anyway, so it's our group builds. Well, I say our group builds. We've got one group build, and we've got a member that's got starting their own group build, which we are sort of supporting. Yeah, we're supporting it. So let's start. We'll start with our group build, and our group build is the Mighty Ford Escort. In any guise, any shape, any, as long as it's a Ford Escort, it can be a diorama, it can be, you can have all the aftermarket you can afford on it. It doesn't have to be a standard out of the box build, but as long as it's a Ford Escort in some shape or form. So, and this is running for a huge 6 months. We've deliberately set it at 6 months because we know some people have got time, they've got time constraints. They're not able to get to it straight away or get to it all the time, and they need that extra time. So there we go. We've got 6 months. I'm building this. Now, there's a reason I'm building this. I've come to decide that there's far too much negativity involving kits. This kit, for example, is considered a poor kit. I've heard people refer to the manufacturer as shitolary. I mean, some of their, I don't know if anyone's seen their trucks that they put out. Their trucks, their European trucks are quite, when you see them built up, they really are something special. They're nice bits of kit. And if you haven't seen them, go and have a look. Go and, I'm sure if you type in Italeri trucks, there'll be a whole host come back. So people are constantly getting on that these kits are rubbish. You may remember that I had with the Phantom, it was people were on about that being a shit kit, so I've built that to try and see whether it was a shit kit. In my opinion, it wasn't. It went together very well. Had a few seams and that needed filling, but that just helped me learn how to fill seams better. And so I've come to instead of using the term shit kits, I'm thinking of calling them modeler making kits. So instead of model making kits, we call them modeler making kits. They build modelers, they help build modelers. And so this apparently is a shitolary. And I don't know. The annoying thing is, some of these people that are calling these kits, they haven't even built them. This is I think this is my first Italeri kit. So I'm seeing how it goes. But So to begin with, I can tell you it had some horrible dips in the bodywork, from where, I don't know, the mold's bad or something like that. So this was one of the big points that people moaned about with this kit, that it had a bad body shell. Now I'm lucky in that I've got a friend who does bodywork, who's a bodywork, I don't know what the term is, bodywork specialist, panel beater, whatever. But as part of his job, he repairs or has repaired damaged cars, and he has to redo body panels and spray them and all this business. So he helped me, and Neil, the two of them helped me look at a shell and see what areas there were holes in, or dips in, or troughs in the bodywork in some shape or form, which was very helpful. Once I knew what to look for, I could start to see them for myself. So, and yes, there was, I think to the best of my knowledge, there was a long dip along the rear spoiler. There were three sort of, it was a bit like that along the boot, because of we've got these cutouts beneath. And there was also a pretty nasty, there was a huge chip in this try and see if I can bring this up close. You see where you've got this nice crisp edge here, this edge that goes around. There was a horrible chip in one of these edges. I know which one, and I'll show you in a minute. So bear in mind, I'm a complete novice when it comes to panel work, body work. So they showed me and told me what I needed to do, and I'll tell you what. So everybody comes along, and they've spent, I don't know, people have spent on average 20 minutes, half an hour moaning about the bodywork, maybe an hour if you calculate it all together. Maybe their collective moaning about the body shell is an hour, 60 minutes. So how long do you think it took me to put right this bodywork? Now I'm only saying to put right to the best of my ability as a complete novice. So this is going to be the slowest it could possibly be. So I will show you the obviously there's the boot now. It no longer has that ripply bump in there. I filled all this and then flattened back slowly until I got a nice flat finish. I flattened all the roof. There was a nasty seam that sort of ran across the roof there. I just flattened that all out. Lovely. And again, with the long indent in the spoiler, I don't know if you can see that's gone now. That's nice and flat. That too has gone. That was filled using Mr. Surfacer 500 over a couple of times, and then just taking back each time. And then finally, the nasty wheel arch. Now I can tell you it was this wheel arch here, and there was a horrible chip that ran from about midway up here all the way down, and you couldn't see this line at all. This line sort of came away up here, and you just couldn't see it at all down here. So I managed to bring that back. I'm particularly proud of that. So that took me, all in all, about 13 minutes, excluding dry time. So to put the Mr. Surfacer on, all I needed to do was literally, I used this brush, and on the boot, the Mr. Surfacer, I just went in and gave a couple of lines like that, staying inside of the panel lines there. On the roof, it was just a case of you know, just filling that like that. And the arch, I came round to the arch, and again, the arch was probably the most difficult. It was just a case of dabbing it on a little bit more there, dab it on a bit more, and a tiny little bit more, dab that on, and then it was a case of leaving it. So honestly, if I was to reenact it now, if this was my pot here, it would be so you see, mere minutes, right? And then the dry time. So I left it overnight, left it for a good 24 hours. Came back, it might even have been 48 hours. Came back and just sanded it down very gently. And then when I was getting near to where I wanted it, I swapped over and started using wet sanding, and that took me, so I don't know, about 5-10 minutes. It was very quick, very quick. And there we go. So we've totally negated the bad body shell now with 13 minutes work. So I guess you can't really call that now. You can't really say that that's a shit shell. I think it looks great now. So I'm just trying to get through to people that we've got to stop this. This is a shit kit, shitolary, all this business. It's rubbish. It's, you know, just
what you make it.
Yeah, I mean, these are. I don't know how old this.
Perfect, then the model,
yeah,
the modelling probably wouldn't last very long.
This is an old mould, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's an old mould. It's not going to be great, but we'll do with it what we can. So I got my shell ready, and I then moved on to the engine. I'm not aware of any problems with the engine or anyone complaining about the engine in any way. But that's where I'm at with that. It's just the basic flat aluminium colour. It actually calls out for rusty downpipes. I don't know whether it would have rusty downpipes in a car like this, but I'm going to look into that, and I'll probably let you know about that next week. I've got a funny feeling they would be sort of like a stainless steel or maybe a chrome. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem. Race cars are normally very highly tuned. They're always being stripped down and put together and stripped down and put together again. So it just doesn't seem likely that they would have rusty parts in that engine bay. But we'll wait and see. So that's my Escort build. I don't think I've got anything else to show you on that one. Oh yes, we had this was another. Hi Rachel. this was another big bone of contention with this kit, and I've got to agree, it was quite bad. I will say that. And this was the bonnet, and it's very thin, and it's but again, it was done very, very quickly with the same brush. Mr. Surface of 500. I just went over like that, added Mr. Surface of 500, and then as soon as that was dry, I just gently sanded that back until I could see what I was working with, left it a little bit longer, and yeah, just wet sanded the whole area, and basically got it to that stage it's at now, which is as you can see, there's nothing wrong with that now. So that's that. Now the other thing I want to bring up, and people are going to hate me for this now, but the subject of painting on the sprue, I'm going to bring this up because I have done it. I have painted on the sprue, and I can hear the gasps already. Oh no, he hasn't, has he? He's not painted on the sprue. Oh, you don't want to do that. That's a bad mistake. But I want to make a couple of points. I don't always paint on the sprue. Now there's probably, you know, there's arguments for and against, but just a couple of thoughts I've had. Firstly, when you take these off the sprue to paint, in my mind, these gates on a lot of parts are set in the perfect place that you would only go and glue a cocktail stick. For example,
Rob says he does it all the time too.
Yeah. I mean, it's they're set in areas where you're gonna glue. Some of them are set in areas where you're gonna have to glue on that surface. So the fact that you're not getting paint on there, because one of the big arguments is if you paint on a sprue, when you clip them off the sprue gates, there's going to be a little bit that needs redoing where the sprue gates are. But in a lot of cases, you'll find that where that sprue gate is an area that's got to be glued anyway. So you're only going to come along and scrape the paint off that side anyway. Not always. I will give you that. Not always. And now that I've said that, I'm struggling to find one, which is sod's law, isn't it? But you know, or they're in areas that you're not going to see anyway.
Yeah, Joe's just said she only paints on the sprue if where the nubs are is going to be hidden away. Yeah,
that's a very good point. And a lot of these are. I mean, if we look on these foot pedals, it's along the top there. There's a tiny little section just along the top there where you've got the sprue gate. Once you've glued that in, you're not going to see that at all. Now these, so I'm just trying to let people make their own mind up. Let them choose for themselves. Why do people persecute other people for choosing to paint on a sprue? It's
model the way that you think is best.
Yeah. And this is what we want Misfits to be about. Where if you want to paint on the sprue, you paint on the sprue. If you want to blue tack them to a bit of cardboard and spray them, you do it that way. If you wanted,
stick them on cocktail sticks.
Yeah, if you want to stick them on cocktail sticks, you do that. If you want to just put them in a big box with an open tub of paint and shake them all and hope that the paint splashes over them, then you do it that way. Whatever is comfortable for you, you do it the way you want to. You don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That there are certain areas of modeling where it's a matter of preference, and painting on the sprue is one of those. I'm not saying it's always right. There are times when it's probably not a good idea to paint on the sprue, but honestly, a lot of the time I don't see any problem with it. I see it as these are big cocktail sticks holding the parts ready for me to paint. So, you know, otherwise take these small seatbelt clips here.
You take them off the sprue, you've got the highlight.
Yeah.
That they don't get
so you've got these small seatbelt clips here when it comes into focus. Now, I can cut them off, then battle with them to stick them on onto here, and then, you know, and all the time there's a chance they're going to fall off and get lost, and then prime them, and I'm still going to be left with the spot underneath when I take the cocktail stick off that isn't painted. I'm still going to have that spot, or I just paint it on here. It's already held in place. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall off. Then when I've finished, I can let it dry on its own. I can stand it up so it's not touching anything. Let the air circulate around it. Wait till it goes nice and hard, and then clip it off then. And then if I need to, I can come along gentle with a pair of tweezers, hold it gently, and just put a little smidging over the back if I need to. Chances are it's in an area it's not going to be seen, or it might be an area that needs gluing, in which case it makes no difference whatsoever. So that's just my opinion on sprue painting. Has anyone got any opinions or questions on that?
They're all pretty much the same.
I mean, feel free. If you think that's wrong, then speak out. Nobody's going to, you know, we're not going to think any less of anyone for it.
Now, Joe said, and if someone tells that you cannot make your own glue and that you must use named products, i.e. Tamiya, don't listen.
Yeah, this is another good point. You can make your own glue. I know that we've got at least one member that can make glue. She knows who she is.
Just make sure you open the windows.
Yeah.
Spirit 8 said, I think people should be encouraged to try whatever they like, find a way that works for them. I used to brush paint in enamels on the sprue as a kid, and I now know I cringe at those early kids.
Yeah. But yeah, you've just got to do what you're comfortable with. But we as a modeling community have got to stop trying to force our beliefs onto other modelers. So if somebody comes along, the next time somebody comes along and they say that they paint on a sprue, instead of then going full bore and saying, well, you know you're not supposed to do that because of this or because of that, let's just, you know, you could say, you know, great, and move on to another topic that's of more interest.
And Bob?
Yeah.
Said, and when you paint on the sprue, it's more difficult to lose that piece. Oh, I so hope so.
Yeah, it is. It is, because they're well fixed. And I, you know, I like, you know, I paint on the sprue.
Rob has a question. Can anyone tell me where to get the Aztec decals in the UK? Just ordered a 135 scale Enterprise refit kit.
Whoa.
Nice.
135th.
Yeah.
That must be huge. No, somebody was asking this the other day.
Civics answered his question.
Oh, right.
Cannons, probably a good place to try, Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's somebody in the group that can answer that. I can't answer that because I don't know.
Let me get this right. Rob is saying 1/350.
Oh, that's 1/350th.
So it's not 1/30.
No.
See, even I'm still learning.
No, I was going to say 1/35th. I'm thinking, wow, wowchers. That's like that's well. I'm trying to think of a relative size to that.
Big, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, 1/350th is quite a big enterprise anyway, if I remember rightly. But anyway, there we go. That's my waffling about painting on the sprue. So,
hi, Richard.
Hi, Richard. We will move on from that. And so that is my escort build. I've got some seat belts coming for this kit, which I've ordered off of eBay. So I can't wait to see how they look when they're on. And
Rob said it's 38 inches. 38 inches nose to tail.
That is quite big. That's 38. Where's my tape measure? 38 inches is that's
still quite substantial. It's still going to be a nice kit when it's done.
That's a big kit. I'm just looking for a tape measure. I know I've got one somewhere.
Oh dear. Could be anywhere. It's this house. It'll be around somewhere. Yeah,
I'll have to look for that later. I can't. It's not a good idea to start looking for stuff when you're supposed to be hosting a live stream. So there we go. That's my Italeri kit, and this will be obviously I'll be doing a weekly update on this build. You can go onto the Facebook page, and there will be a full build diary in the form of pictures, pictures with words underneath. That sounds like
pictures with words.
Yeah, it sounds like a kid's book, doesn't it? And pictures with words. So yeah, you know what I mean. Pictures with words.
Oh.
And yeah, so that's on the Facebook group, because those of you that are in the Misfits YouTube channel but are not members of the Misfits Facebook page, then you're missing out. You go along to Misfits+1 on Facebook and ask to join. You've got to answer 3 simple questions. It's just like hobby related stuff. What's, you know, what do you hope to get out of this, and that, you know, that sort of thing. You'll get approved, and then the more members we've got, the bigger the group is, and things start to happen then. Yeah, so now on to our next build, and this is being run by Christoph. Oh, I've been dreading this moment. Christoph Wojtala. Yeah. That's about as best as I can do, Chris. Sorry. Sorry, mate. I can't get it any better than that. We'll just saw you, Chris. So Chris is doing 100 years of RAF, and it's any plane or jet that's been in service with the RAF. So for my build, once again, I'm going to move the camera up because we need to get, this is quite a big box. So for my build, I am going to be building this beauty. Notice there, trademark, copyright, a shit kit. and this is because I bought this when I very first took up modeling again, and I was told about 8 weeks after I bought it, I joined some various groups, and absolutely everyone has told me that that kit is bad. They've told me that that kit is very bad. It's going to have loads of problems, and I'm just going to struggle with it. And many different people have told me to chuck it in the bin. It's a perfect kit for me. I'm not going to be beaten. I will build the shit kits, and I am going to prove that you can make a really good model out of these kits, and you can learn something from them as well. So, you know, if you're new to modeling, I encourage you to go and buy one. I'm about the only person that's going to say that. Although I may say hold on for about 4 weeks until I've got through it, because there's always the chance that it really is shit. And then if it really is shit, I'm going to have to eat a massive amount of humble pie because I've gone on so much about how...
Well, Bob said they're not. He's done 3 and he's still got 1 left to do.
This is encouraging. So there we go, Bob. Well done, Bob. I'm glad that you've sort of not taken the what everybody says as gospel, because what we need to understand is there's people out there that give you advice that don't have a clue. There's people out there that will give you advice on kits they have never built, they have never seen, they've never, you know. I'm not referring to anyone in particular here at this point, but I know of a couple of instances where people have given advice, and they you know, it would be like me giving you advice on repairing your car. It would be tragic because I've never ever repaired a car in my life. And it would go wrong. I can tell you dreadful stories of they're funny now. I can tell you stories that would make you laugh, from changing brakes outside our house. We had to have, yeah, you name it. I've had things go wrong. I've had to have professionals out to repair some of the damage that I've done. There you go.
Mark's scale model said he has built that Spit as a kid and loved it. Dr. Sprue said he would love to try and build that kit.
Well, there you go. And the thing is, and this is what I can't get, because it's got such a poor reputation, it's driven the price down. You can pick this kit up for 20 odd quid in a lot of places now. The last time I seen it going for about 20 odd quid was in Argos, I think. But it does every now and then, it pops up and it's dirt cheap. And that's because everybody keeps going on about how bad it is. And it's just driven the price down on it. That's not a fact. That's my opinion. I don't know that's that's what's driven the price down. I'll just clarify that in case I'm breaking some law. But you know, I think it sounds a good, well, you know, a reasonable story, doesn't it? But yeah, we'll go with that. So I haven't started this yet, but I did do a review on it, and unfortunately my review was in my old state as so I reviewed kits when I was as bad as the people I'm trying to talk about. yeah. So basically, I would review these kits, and I would go on and on about the Flash, how bad it was, and this is a really bad kit, and blah 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 blah. And so a lot of my reviews up until about 4 weeks ago are done like that, and the same as everybody else has reviewed them basically. Whereas now, when I review a kit, I try to review a kit with
open-mindedness.
Open mind, positive though. As many people are watching know, and because of the nature of Misfits, I have severe depression. So I started to look at things in my life that might not be helping, and I'm thinking, I look at a lot of these kits and I give them really, if it's a really bad kit like this, I can be quite negative about it. So I'm thinking, let's try and be more positive about everything. So when I get a bad kit, instead of reviewing it as a bad kit, let's review it in a more positive light. Let's take those bad points and make them good points. So the holes in the bonnet on the Italeri kit, they're not, it's not a bad shell. It's a good shell to practice your bodywork techniques. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Dr. Sprue said Flash is no issue though. It's part of modelling to him.
Yeah, and yeah, again, Flash is brought up a lot. Flash is brought up a lot on these kits, that people will build them and say, "Oh, well, there's only half a guy there." I've never seen them.
And then he gets sidetracked.
Oh, actually, the detail on that is quite nice. Yeah, but I'll turn him around. He's only got half. It's weird. Detail on that. Anyway, sorry. And I'm quite like.
You do get sidetracked.
Yeah, I do get sidetracked.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, there's some nice detail on this kit. Got some raised. I love Airfix plastic. That's another thing that a lot of people don't agree with me on. I love the colour. I think it's quite a nice plastic for me. It when you cut through it, it's got quite a soft texture to it in parts. But anyway, as you can see, I haven't took it out of the bag yet. But there's a lot of parts in there, and they don't look too bad at all. So with any luck, that's going to be a nice build. Very impressed with what I can't have reviewed this. I've just realised I can't have reviewed this. It's still sealed. Oh, I haven't reviewed it. Oh, this changes things. That needs reviewing. So there we go. That's the. Now I don't know. Oh dear. Oh, sorry. I don't know how long the 100 years RAF build is running for. We need to speak to Chris on that. Chris, I hope you're watching, and I hope you're going to give me long enough to do that, because it's 1/24th. I need a little bit of time, because I'm not a very fast builder, as many of you know. Okay, so that concludes the group build. Now, what have I bought this week? I have actually bought something this week. I bought it privately, and it's something that I saw on the shelf of somebody else, and I took quite a liking to it straight away. It's another Revel kit. I do love the Revel kits, and this is the North Sea fishing trawler. I think that looks nice, and I think that will look nice on a shelf. It might even look nice in some sort of diorama or vignette or something. But again, this is another old kit. I don't know if there's let's just have a look.
That looks awesome.
Well, that's the plan, yeah. What do we got in there?
Yeah, no, you might get around to putting your shelf up and display that one.
I swear there's something in there. There is. There's some thread. There it is. So there's some thread. I'm massing loads of this thread. It's been well wrapped for transit. There's a little piece broke off there by the looks of it. Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the white plastic. I find the white plastic can be very brittle and very hard to shape. Yeah, this is one that's going to look, once it's got the paintwork on, it's going to make all the difference to this. Some kits, you know, look nice from the word go, even without paintwork on. They've got lots of detail, and you know, painting it just brings it out even more. But some kits, they're just plain. There's not much in the way of detail, but then when you start painting them, that's when they come to life. I think this is going to be one of those. Again, this will be reviewed. We are going to be doing some new type of reviews soon. I don't want to say no more than that, but we're working on some new ideas for reviewing. There we go. That's the North Sea fishing trawler. Revel. Just a fairly small pamphlet, really, of instructions. 16, so not too much going on there. It wouldn't be a very difficult build, but it'd be a nice build when it's done. The only one I'm after, the other one I'm after, is the RNLI lifeboat build and the Sea King helicopter. I'd like to do some sort of rescue mission diorama with the Sea King rescue helicopter and the lifeboat in the water. I think that would be quite cool. So that's that. Moving on, we'll have a quick look at this. I really didn't get much planned this week. I should apologise for that. I've had dreadful tooth pain. I've spent most of many nights sat on the bed rocking backwards and forwards, taking copious amounts of physico-codamol and other painkillers. And and so, you know, we've also had some bad news, and it's been a long week. So unfortunately, the show got neglected a little bit this week. My apologies for that. I hope to be back on it soon. Well, I will mention there appears there's been a problem there is a problem with YouTube, and the fact that if you type in Misfits or Misfits+1 or Misfits+1, YouTube is unable to locate us. We're just not there. So I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to try and get in contact with YouTube. I think I might know what the issue is, but well, I'll tell you what I think the issue might be. I think it's because this used to be the Sprue Surgeon group. Everyone in here were Sprue Surgeon members, and then we sort of just changed to Misfits, and I changed all the names. I went through everything and changed all the names where I could, but for some reason it isn't registering on their keystrokes or whatever it is they use, their way of finding stuff. And I suppose we could test this. If you can, somebody, if you type Sprue Surgeon in, what does it bring up on the YouTube search engine?
I'll be back in a minute.
So what I've just asked Angela to do is she's going to go onto YouTube now and type Sprue Surgeon in and see where the Misfits page comes up.
Misfits page comes up.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what the problem is. So I need to contact YouTube and see what can be done. And we'll go from there. I don't really want to be starting a whole new page off if I can help it. But we'll see. Anyway, so we'll have a look at this briefly. And this is the Airfix magazine for the month of July. It's just come in. I just received my copy today. And we've got some nice builds going on in here. Interestingly, we've got they're bringing out some of these older kits that at the moment are not in production, but they're going to bring them back out as vintage kits. Now, the HMS hood I had up until the other week. I built it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but that is now £32. When Angela's got it for me for £3 recently, so I'm just trying to find little bits to point out. We've got the IPMS Argentina. Yeah, it's a bit far to go really for the model show. Hero Boy specialists in bike, car and bike models, yeah. Here we've got the Tonka, 75 years. And this is the Revel. Now, didn't they only just released a Revel Tornado. Yeah, it was the GR4. I built it. So now they reworked the tooling. But what is the change? What is the big change? I don't know. So we've got some nice nice cockpit work there. Attacker. So this is going to be a Polish variant. And yeah, we can see we've got this lovely lorry here built by somebody called Johan Augustusson. And that's some very nice weathering work gone on there. Very nice. And it shows you how it's all built up, and see we've got some dirt on the wheel treads there, and slowly building up the cab area. Yeah, and it's got some other bits and pieces. Oh, now that's yeah, I'm all over that. I've got one of these SU-34. I love that color. I love the Russian jets. They're so the colors on them are so nice, and they're just so well how they're built. And yeah, that's a nice build. That highly recommend getting that. Well, for me, I do. Obviously, I can't recommend it for everyone else because I don't know what everyone else likes. And there we've got, they're using the MRP paints. MRP paints, apparently they've brought out their acrylic range now. So they've got a really nice acrylic range, apparently. I've not tried them, so I don't know. And then we've got Spitfire again, another Spitfire. There's a surprise. And we've got a tank going on there. And so, you know, it's the Airfix magazine's really, I always like the Airfix magazine. I like that. Never seen one of those before, but I do like that orange and silver. It's quite difficult to get that silver to work in the way you want it, especially to get a finish like that. Yeah, very nice. Definitely look at maybe getting one of those. Then we see Veteranous Models. They've got a page in. Veteranous Models is two ladies that run online modeling, and they have a shop as well. I haven't bought anything from them personally, but I hear they're very good. I buy all my stuff through Mike Jolly. His link to his shop and page is in the description below. He's very good. You get lots of good prices and good offers. Highly recommended. So anyway, I mean, it's been a short one tonight. It is a short one. I've already said it's been a long week. It's been very difficult, and we're just not really got anything prepared for tonight. So I'm going to call it a night there. And if anyone got any other questions?
I still don't know what she's building yet.
No, I thought she was building.
She's tried sci-fi, heli, plane, ship in progress, and now tank in progress. Still doesn't know what she's like.
Well, Joanne, I mean, I don't build any one. Let me just bring this up. I don't like talking to the desk. I don't build any one kit, one genre. I float between them all. I mean, down here under my feet, I've got a huge aliens head, which I'm going to be working on soon. I've got cars, vans, Humvees, ships. jets. My mind is shutting down on me. The biplanes, all sorts. So maybe you're just going to be like that. You can float between them all. The way I see it, I've got the best of everyone's world, because you get people that just build tanks. That's all they build, tanks. You get people that not only do they just build tanks, but they'll just build a type of tank, like a King Tiger, and that's all they'll build. The same as you've got people that all they will build is Spitfires. Whereas I can build the Spitfire, and then, you know, if I'm not feeling it, I can go and build something else. There's a lot of modelers that can't do that, that are stuck with, they either do tanks, cars, bikes, whatever. So, you know, you're lucky if you can float between them all. Not everyone can do that, but, you know, it's a good thing if you can. So maybe that's the way you're going. Is that it? So with that said, apologies again for it being such a short show, and, you know, not being much in it. I hope you have found it interesting. Oh, can't go just yet. I've just remembered I did have something lined up very quickly. I came across this idea earlier on, and I'm going to show you it quickly before we go.
This is he's inventing head on again.
Yeah, I'm inventing an head. So, one drinking straw. Now, you know, you get these plastic covers that go over. You're always losing them. Well, I've discovered that if you get one of these and you just pop it on till it sticks there, pair of scissors, cut it just a couple of centimeters above. There you go. You've got a new protective sheath for your brush. How about that? Is that not magical? That's a Christmas miracle, that. I don't know. It's not a Christmas miracle, but it made me very happy that I was just sitting here playing around with a straw earlier, and I'd done that, and I was like, wow, I've invented something. Well, I haven't invented something. I've copied something. Now, to my knowledge, nobody else has figured this out yet. So I'm gonna claim that I'm the first to do it. So yeah. See, I've done some more of mine. The only trouble is it doesn't work on these, to the best of my knowledge. Let me just try quickly. No, it doesn't really work on them. I suppose you could put a little bit of sellotape or something around it, but then that's sort of getting a bit more ridiculous then, isn't it? There you go. So thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week, when I'm sure I'll have something more planned.
More alive next week.
Yeah, be more alive next week. It's been a long day, and I'm sure I'm going to get something. I'm going to get some sort of structure going on the show. We used to have a very good structure in that, but it sort of fell by the wayside a bit over the past few weeks. With people being in and then sometimes not in, it's just all got a bit higgledy-piggledy. Yeah, so we need to try and get sorted on that. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye for now.